Well, hi there, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy VII. This is part 8. On the last part, we were successful in learning the enemy skill beta and then slaying a Midgar Zolom. And we did the Chocobo ride and the ice caverns. And after rolling over to the Fort Condor to say we weren't down with the cause twice to that Fort Condor guy to get negative party rep, we recruited Yuffie, and now we are right outside of Junon, which is kind of post Midgar. This is the first like really substantial city IMO, like, you know, not to knock Calm or, well, Fort Condor sucks. I think anyone that likes Fort Condor is lame. Hot takes. But you know, the Chocobo farm, all well and good. It's got its side game and stuff, and the ice caverns is really short, so they're all fine for what they are. But yeah, this is the first, like, you know, there's the initial I guess I don't know why I'm going into random. There's literally nothing to do. I guess I ought to head down to the beach. But anyway, yeah, you get this like kind of lower, it's almost in a way it's Midgar-esque in that you've got the old part as the lower part, you know, ground floor part of Junon that's kind of a little bit, I think, polluted, or like, I don't know, maybe like the fish are dying or something. But there's a whole upper, like, big Shinra city, and it's got big military apparatus. There's actually, you come back a time or two, and it's pretty cool, I gotta say. Like, as far as a lot of my love in 7 is rooted in how cool I think some of the towns are, and Junon is definitely one of the super hype towns. There's a lot of great things there here. And of course, it ends with you stowing away on a boat, so you can cross to the other side of the continent. No, that's not how it works. Cross the ocean to a different continent. Yeah, that's what I meant. But anyway, so we were meeting Priscilla, who's like a younger girl who is, you know, trains this dolphin who's like called Mr. Flippy. Or he's got some like kind of adorable dolphin name that you'd expect a girl would give a dolphin, but it's like, I think it's something. It's not literally Mr. Flippy. Mr. Dolphin, yeah, okay. And yeah, she obviously... I didn't take any time to re-equip my boss. He's ranged, or my boss. Ugh. I didn't take any time to really re-equip my party. Also, I didn't heal, apparently. Although on the upside, I still got Fury. So, which doesn't, I guess, you know, doesn't necessarily... But yeah, like one cure is gonna be plenty. This is still quite early game, fortunately. And I don't believe this guy is going to be absorbing fire, and I believe beta should still be really damaging. It definitely, as far as like an early game thing, you can miss, of course. It's kind of funny to miss it with spells, especially a giant spell like that. You'd think it would be like, how do you miss? But miss you can. Where was I though? Yeah, beta's definitely, as far as like a good early game strategy, it's kind of like it and Trine and Magic Breath and those kinds of things. Those can definitely be good things to lean on if your guys are kind of low level, but I think it would be to overstate the case to say it like trivializes the content, because A, they're pretty mana costly, and B, you know, it's like, it's a lot of, really, if you want to talk about what I think is the ticket to trivializing stuff, it's getting your limit break things early, because with a lot of guys, once you hit their level 3 limit breaks, that's when it's like, oh, one level 3 limit break, if you're a decent level, is just gonna one-shot a boss, so, you know. But I mean, to be fair, like these 1 difficulty, a lot of these like kind of classic JRPGs, they can have kind of hard weapons, but, you know, if you're, you know, like an adult in your 30s like me, and, you know, not like a kid like when I first played these games, it's pretty, you know, they're not really that challenging. As far as like challenging video games go, I can think of a lot of genres that, you know. But anyway, I haven't really been, I didn't like look up this guy's health or whatever. Again, there's a lot of these bosses, it's like, there's some that are more challenging than others. You want to take a little bit more seriously, like the Materia Keeper would be a great example. He can kind of, if you're not ready for him, he can kind of wreck you. There's some enemies along the way like that. Oh, is that not how you break it? Might have to kill this guy before Barret suffocates. I'm forgetting what you do. I thought you just attacked it. You might attack it with magic. That might be it. Going on a limb here, but I'm gonna give that a try. I also think this guy's got to be so close to dead. He's got to be like, oh, or he's just gonna tidal wave himself. What a bro. I forget if this like affects the XP you get. It doesn't, does it? No, probably not. Could have just, I didn't have to say that out loud. I could have just waited to see, and then I could have been like, oh, you know, oh yeah, as I was expecting. It doesn't, but anyhow. And, you know, what I'm saying is not like, just for the, you know, just for the record, what I'm saying is not completely unfounded, because, like, I think in some games, at least, like, when those bomb suicide, you might not get AP or you might not get XP or something like that. So that's kind of my point of reference. Here we are again. So I was talking a few videos ago about the tons of just short mini games in Final Fantasy VII. Here's another one, is the CPR one. And okay, and I think switch is the X button. Yeah, I think you just don't want to go too high, but you want to go pretty high. If I get in one, that's like, I think about here. This is literally all there is to it. Nope, shake my head. That means gotta, it's, I think I went too soon then. I think maybe here. If not, it's one more tick from the top. Okay, wow. Okay. Unless it's, of course, it's entirely possible it could be lower. I'd just be thinking, like, maximum air. No, okay, well, then I think maybe it should be a little bit lower, because it obviously restarted when I blew, but I think I was at that spot when I did it the last time. So I'm going to try it at around, like, the 70% mark. Nope. Well, this could get embarrassing. Fortunately, I feel no shame of failing in Final Fantasy VII mini games. Just like, you know, that everyone hit the switch at the same time. I could whiff that thing 10 times, no problem. But just buckle up to see me snowboarding. Cloud is going to be like taking a lot of trees to the face. Although I might try and, that's one of the things that I find the most annoying in 7 is if you're trying to like be, you know, somewhat completionist. You know, I always try, oh, that did it. So I'd say that was a little more than 70%, but there you go. I guess I kind of hit everyone around that except for the actual one. But there we go. CPR administered, and it looks like Priscilla's going to live. Despite taking a like tidal wave to the face from the, I think the boss is called Bottom Swell, but I'm not 100% on that. Somewhat confident. Yeah, I think the fact that we saved Priscilla's life should definitely earn us some gratitude with the good folks of Junon. And nothing really for the purchase, you know, nothing really worth purchasing, unfortunately. There are weapon shops. There's a lot more commerce in industry in a upper Junon. They just call it still Junon, but there's an elevator and not just anyone could go up. Unless, just for example, give a completely random example, unless you knew someone who had a trained dolphin that could like flip you up or something like that. Just as a random example. I don't know if maybe you need to rest first. That might be it. Yeah, come in for a while. As much as I don't like to get rid of my fury, I definitely need some mana. I also need to have a kind of. I guess you can't really call this a meltdown because he's like resting. I think it's really only fair to say it's a meltdown if he's in the middle of a mission. But yeah, he's got this kind of like voice in his head and. Talking about the story he told, yeah, we had the flashback in Calm where, you know, he came back to his hometown and she was the guide. It's not a good question. Yeah, you should ask her. It is weird that in that entire flashback there was not one bit of dialogue between them. Here we have another excellent song on the in the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack. The Junon track is such a banger. I was actually, so this was like a number of months ago, but I was over at one of my good friends' house, who's also a man of culture and loves the Final Fantasy series like I do. And I was just, I was telling him that I was like randomly listening to the Final Fantasy IX soundtrack, and the Junon soundtrack came on. And I was like, which I, at that point, it had been like a little while since I'd played the game. I've played it more recently, but I was like, when does that happen? And, and I was like, but it is still like, I looked on the soundtrack listing, it was still called the Junon soundtrack, but, or not soundtrack, but the Junon theme or Junon whatever. Yeah, it's that the band that is part of your like flying theater in the beginning plays it like for just one scene. And I think that's the only time it gets played in the game, but yeah, if you're going to recycle a song, like recycle one of the best. This is very special indeed. This is another summon, and much like the all materia in Final Fantasy VII, the number of alls you can cast per battle is based on its level. Similar thing takes place with the summons early game, where they're level 1, so you can do them once per battle, and as they level up you get more per battle. But I think that kind of makes the early game summons cool because it incentivizes you to use all of them in a given boss fight, because they're all good for like more damage than casting. Like even when we get like Fire 2 and Ice 2 and stuff, a summon's still usually gonna hit like a good chunk harder, I would say. So it's usually worth your while to, if you don't have a limit break or something better to do, it's usually worth your while to drop a summon if you can. So anyway, they're talking about how they're gonna infiltrate the Shinra upper area, because this absolute excellent song is playing, like to welcome, in fact, the new president of Shinra, Rufus. The former president Shinra was in fact slain by the thought to be dead Sephiroth. And so we've got I don't know exactly what their plan is, honestly. Like, I don't know exactly, but, they're clearly trying to, yeah, I don't remember, but I mean, I don't know. They're doing something. It's all ultimately to try and, I guess, kind of pursue Sephiroth and stop him, so. Oh yeah, and I guess I should have, when I was said just a scant 2 minutes ago, speaking of mini games with the CPR game, does not stop there, my friends, because there are at least 3 more in this segment, this being one of them, the Mr. Dolphin, not Mr. Flippy, as I so erroneously called him earlier. I do apologize for that egregious mistake. That was wildly incorrect. But yeah, this is another one of those things where, like, usually it'll take you a few flips to get up there, but, pretty NBD. Don't know under what circumstances you would pass. But yeah, you just have to try and line yourself up so he flips you onto the thing. I don't remember exactly where it is. I guess that was pretty relatively close. Just like I said, I think I started to say, I don't know if I finished the thought, just like with the CPR thing, though. Yeah, it just takes a little bit of getting a feel for it, and you get, oh, I feel like that was rather close. Come on, Mr. Flippy. That one didn't feel close. I don't know. It's one of those, obviously with any of these things, if you felt like super frustrated, you could just look it up online to save time, but, there's only so many places he can flip me. He's gonna, Mr. Dolphin's gonna help me out eventually. I think it's somewhere like rather close to the pole. Like, I think those ones are somewhere in the ballpark. I don't know if maybe doing it more on this end would get me. I mean, those look like they are so close to right on the money. I feel like this is like, yeah, there we go. Nailed it on my 10th attempt. we get this kind of like pseudo cutscene aspect kind of thing where you still get like kind of polygony Cloud, but yeah, still, I think, you know, again, for 97 when it came out, pretty slick. I think we can all agree. This is some pretty, and obviously some of this I think is the mods that I allegedly have installed on this. Oh, and yeah, and of course this is set my mug down here. I got some still pretty hot mint tea, and you know, not so hot I can't kind of sip on it. But the thing I find with most teas, I think if they're still pretty hot, it's fine to drink them. But sometimes if mint tea's pretty hot, oh, that was kind of weird. The little lever thing kind of floated. Yeah, there's a couple weird graphical things. But if you drink it when it's still like, if obviously you boil the water and you drink it after it's been like soaking for like 20 minutes and kind of cooled down, it doesn't really taste as minty. I find that it's really like when it gets kind of more of a room temperature that it really gets, and not like I need it to be like obscenely minty, but you know, it's like if you're drinking mint tea, I don't think it's unreasonable to expect some minty flavor. But yeah, through a wacky happenstance, they, you know, wait, whoops, I need to get my uniform on. It's embarrassing. Wait, not there either, which way? Okay, is it? Oh wait, okay, do I go back out the door I came through? Okay. Or did I not come? Oh, never mind. I got a little turned around here. So what happens when I start talking about mint tea? Just get all over the place. But anyway, yeah, through wacky happenstance, like Cloud was like, oh, you must be a soldier who's still not in uniform. Well, they've never seen him before. But so this one, I think I can't remember. I think if the best reward is like you get money or something, but it doesn't super matter. I like almost always whiff this next mini game, which is like they're late for the parade that they're supposed to march in, so they have to like, you know, cut in through an alleyway and then march correctly in formation. And I have done this correctly like once, but like I never succeed at this. The thing is, though, it really doesn't matter if you completely whiff it, because the reward's not that great, and it's kind of funny. Yeah, I don't get it. I am gonna 100% whiff this, boys. But yeah, but the next one where your platoon or squad or whatever is platoon's too big of a unit. Your like squad is doing a kind of marching in place kind of show for Rufus and Heidegger and stuff. And if you know, there's like the Rufus's interest level, because this is like, there's like a ratings percentage that ticks up or whatever on this. And but yeah, the second one's way more consequential, because if you get the good rating, you get a Force Stealer, which you can buy later, but it's a weapon. It's definitely an upgrade in terms of damage, but it also, while it has fewer available materia slots, what it does have that is incredibly slick is double AP growth, which a select few weapons have in this game. Some even have the coveted triple AP growth. And it's honestly like, depending on my loadout once I get it, because I am going to 100% save before it and reload if I whiff it, because I think it's just like a handy thing to have. And I might like, I don't know, like I probably put summons on there or something, but I'd look a little closer. There are some other things that could theoretically be useful. I think there are only like 2 or 3 slots, which is kind of a little bit of the downside, but compared to, I'm not sure how many on the hard edge, but I think there's an overwhelming likelihood that I'm going to be equipping it once I get it. So that cannon, of course, definitely a very like distinctive thing about the city of Junon, and obviously, I'm sure you, the viewer, knows it's coming into play because you've played Final Fantasy before. But I think that even if you were to like hazard a guess and had never played this game before, and you're like, oh, this city that Shinra has a military base on with a giant, presumably Mako-powered cannon. I wonder if it's going to get fired in the course of this game. And like, yeah, there's a just excellent scene in Junon later when Cloud is missing in action later, and things are kind of looking like they're at one of their lowest points. Although Final Fantasy VII is very much, for the party members involved, a game comprised of many low points. These guys are definitely put through the ringer in general. All right. Well, this is going to be... I would say this is going to be embarrassing, except as I previously stated, I feel zero shame if I mess up a Final Fantasy VII minigame. I might be able to get... Oh, there's that Cloud shrug. That should give him away. If Cloud was more infamous, they'd be like, I know that shrug. You're that ex-soldier. So do I have to run into the next one, or what? Am I so... I can't even move right now. Okay, there we go. That must be why I need to get into this one. Go! Charge! Oh, wait, what? Oh, I ran too far. Okay. That's embarrassing, but that's okay. You can definitely fail the first one. Here we go. Do. Damn it! Okay, that was close-ish. Hey, don't... How dare you? Ah, come on! I should have just tapped the run. I should have goosed the run button to try and get back into place. This is the one though. Bro. Or, you know, I'm probably supposed to be pressing one of the buttons too. Yeah, like as previously stated, I've whiffed this minigame on innumerable occasions. No, yeah, I think I'm about to be I think this is about to mercifully end very soon. I'm about to be mailed a grenade. But again, no F's given. There's like, I mean, many of the I just don't know what they want from me. I think it is. I really think there's some, like, you know. Well, you know, there's just no achieving perfection with this, like, Shinra military. They're just, like, pretty unreasonably strict with their marching standards. You know, I understand it's a military and you gotta have, like, certain things, but look at that. That was, like, so close to perfect. Fortunately for me, I don't really care about the live TV ratings in Junon or wherever else. I guess probably there's other places might receive this signal, other like maybe Shinra places. So, but anyway, don't care. And plus, I'm just like, I'm wearing a uniform. No one even knows it's Cloud. Like, it's just more reflects poorly on the on Shinra as a military organization. Is that I'm supposed to be like marching into the far side one? Is that why I'm always failing this? What? Was that really it? Okay. Wow. Time to salvage this. We might not be getting a grenade after all. I'm still getting a grenade, aren't I? Yep. Grenade received. Whatever. I hate that one. Although, yeah, that's completely what it was I was supposed to be going to the far side. But, you know, I definitely foreshadowed the fact I was gonna whiff that every single time. This is not the Rufus performance, you know, marching in place thing that's coming up. We get a little bit of time to peruse the Junon shops and enjoy, get a couple of sources, and like I think we get an enemy skill, and there's definitely some things worth buying at the shop. Although not a ton of things, to be fair. But yeah, there's a little bit of stuff yet to do. Yeah, that's kind of a fun, like, sort of dynamic that the two of them have, is that he does his gee-ah-ha-ha laugh all the time. Like, Rufus tells him to be quiet, but he finds the laugh annoying. He does that, like, hair sweep move he likes to do before climbing into whatever that thing is. Unclear. Yeah, like a kind of escalator-y thing. There's a term for it. It's not trolley, not tram either. You might... Not a cable car. I don't know. There's like a thing. It's like I guess a really good example would be the one in like Hong Kong or whatever. But you know, those like uphill kind of trolleys. I think there's a different name for them, but it is escaping me. And I only bring that up because that one was clearly uphill going, so I wonder if it was in the same category. What if I am? All right, yeah. That's the one thing is I gotta get used to okay being B and cancel being A. And of course, if his shrug wasn't already identifiable enough, doing the Cloud Buster Sword twirl in the... And this is actually, interestingly enough, this is kind of how you know that you see these guys later on, because they do that same thing. When you much later on in the game hijack a submarine from this same base, those guys are the crew members you can in fact spare or kill. I'd probably, unless there was like a reason, a benefit to it, I would probably be inclined to spare them anyway, but especially knowing that they were kind of like, you know, even though it's not like you actually served together, it's kind of, you kind of shared that one, you know, it's like, remember that one time that we were late for the parade, and remember that one time we had to march for, or it's not marching, but you know, whatever kind of drill thing they're doing there for, much like that uphill tram car thing. I know there's a name for it. I'm just, it's escaping me, unfortunately. But I will drop another save here. Really, the most important one is, you know, it's that I save after I pick up items and buy the occasional thing, and before I do the performance thing. That looks a lot like Rude. Is that Rude? Is he gonna go? Am I not gonna be able to talk to him? Bro, get back here. That's so lame. I think that's gotta be. I mean, as far as like kind of bald black characters, I feel like that's not the most, because there are some kind of models of generic characters that are pretty similar, but like black, bald, and in a suit, that seems to be like the Rude trifecta. Oh, well, that's right, you do see him here. Yeah, okay, then, well, first off, K confirmed is Rude, and that's good. I was thinking maybe it was going to be like he'd disappear and you'd have to just be left to say like, huh, I wonder if that was Rude. But did confirm. Although, I guess, you know, when I was saying it's kind of a, you know, there's a slightly darker bald black guy wearing sunglasses. He looks like a badass, that guy. Check him out. He's like, and I'm assuming this is something gambling related, or that / possibly some kind of drinking game, some combination there, you know, of the two. That's my best guess. Super explicitly say, so you gotta do a little speculating. But so there's the hard edge that you would have, you know, that if I hadn't stolen, it would only now be available. The Grand Glove, I had pointed out that enemy in the ice caves or ice caverns or whatever the heck it's called, it was stealable there. I've got the Atomic Scissors, stolen from the Sweeper. Who cares about the Striking Staff? Like, Eris is a damage dealer. Diamond Pin, I will 100% be snagging. Thank you, sir. Boomerang, I don't have it equipped, but I do have. I didn't actually get it when I was playing last time, but I did maybe an hour ago, because the last kind of series of videos I recorded was maybe 3 days ago, and so I had the microphone unplugged, and usually when I'm going to start recording, I want to do a quick, just 1 minute like test thing to make sure everything sounds okay enough. And I got an encounter with one of those pterodactyl guys, and I'm like, oh, what the heck? I'm going to go for a couple of steals, and I got it, so of course I saved. So Yeah, Boomerang already got. Everything else unnecessary. Grand Glove, not going to use TF5. I think I've committed to Baron as my team. And so that'll do it for weapons. And we did not check out this place. It's definitely, obviously, it's good to just kind of check every place and talk to everyone anyway, as a general rule. But, you know, for making sure you get everything you're looking for, but also just kind of flavor-wise, like, I think it's just, you know, it's kind of part of the reason I think a lot of people play JRPGs is just for going into towns and talking to random NPC. You know, it's just like talking to random townspeople, getting random items and stuff. I think it's the reason that like many sensible people really hate a game like Final Fantasy 13, where it's, you know, I'm sure like the people, because I have met honest to God people that say they like 13 for some reason, but like I don't know how they explain that. Maybe they'd be like, oh no, it's just as fun to do the cutscenes in the hallways, but yeah, not for me. And I hated not the gambit system. I even forget the name. What was it called? It'll come to me eventually, but I remember some of the class names, but there was a name for the system. I forget it, but I like JRPG combat can totally be kind of fast paced or whatever. I think that's fine, but like so many of these games, they're just trying to make it way too much like a kind of action RPG or way too. It's just like I don't know why I don't get why is the direction they've gone with these like recent Final Fantasies. Like, and 15, I think people liked a little bit more, but I'm just like, maybe it's a good version of that kind of like action RPG Kingdom Hearts kind of thing, but that's just like not a Final Fantasy to me. And plus, you know, like kind of looks cringe, although it kind of feels a little boy bandy. But you know, again, this is just from someone who's literally played 0 seconds of it. So if you happen to be hearing this and you are a huge Final Fantasy 15 fan and you have some kind of Final Fantasy 15 like a banner, kind of like wall banner up, or like figurines or anything like that, like obviously, you know, you shouldn't feel bad about it, or you shouldn't feel that bad about it. You know, it could be way worse if you no Final Fantasy 13. Yes, feel bad. It's a bad game. I hate snow too. I hate snow so much. It just hurts my teeth when I think about how much I don't like that character. Not to say I do like any characters in what I played of 13 anyway. I forget his name, but the black guy with the Ifrit race car, he was at least kind of okay, but I feel like that's more because he didn't really have that much character development as far, like, I feel like I played at least 60% into it, maybe 70% into it, and, you know, I honestly feel like I gave it a chance, because that was back at when I was younger and still giving, well, yeah, this is the training hall. Yes, indeed, yeah. Where it's, yeah, it is important to get the enemy skill, because this one's not missable. The Shinra HQ one is. You could come back to Junon, but it's not for a while, and it's gonna be a little bit before we can get beta on this thing. But that doesn't mean, I think that's where we gotta go to the dock. So we might need to. I just need to double check that I did go. That was the one I just came out of. Was the very last one. Yeah, totally. That's totally it. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm gonna go back and pop a save just to, you know, because I mean, like, whereas I'm like what I was saying before, the marching one, I very consistently flub that. I'm usually pretty on the spot with this one, so at maximum, I think it would need 1 reload, but we shall see. Definitely still saving, because I really would like to get that sword upgrade. And that's the other reason I care very little about the marching thing, is like, you know, because you get the grenade, which is a very inexpensive, a single, you know, like use item. Whereas you could, if you do a good job, you can get like, I want to say you can get like a few thousand gil or something like that. I could be completely wrong. And then like the middle of the road is an item. I think, again, just speaking a little extemporaneously here, I could be mistaken. I think it's the silver glasses, which is the accessory that prevents blindness. So, aka who cares? They also, I guess, I'm wondering if I overlooked a shop or a room just because I know there's a person here who does sell accessories, including that, the aforementioned, like, silver glasses or whatever. But if I did, I wasn't going to buy them anyway. So, like, the big thing is the enemy skill, and the sources are kind of important. And yeah, that's those highlighted areas are both, in fact, you know, I was saying just a few moments ago about much later getting a submarine from here, and yep, that's what he was. In fact, that area is blocked off for quite a while, but when you finally need to come back here or go to the, you know, there's a story time where it becomes accessible, and definitely another. Oh yeah, that's right. There are. I was gonna say it. It didn't feel like there were all that many. So I think one of these places must have a even closer save, so I probably didn't need to run back just there a little bit ago. How can I not talk? Maybe I can maneuver around now. Yeah, I guess maybe. Oh, there we go. Stay out of this. Yeah, just like to talk to all of them while they're here. Him especially, you know, for reasons that'll become apparent over the course of Disc 1, you know, he will not always be around to impart his, well, I guess he's definitely one of those kind of man of few words type villains or whatever, but yeah. And yeah, this is where I'll, I'm sure, ultimately save before I do that performance. Yeah, nothing that's really necessary to get additional copies of. Like, I think, you know, the amount, I don't really know if we're ever going to be using Earth or Poison as far as, like, and some enemies are susceptible, some bosses are susceptible, so maybe you want to cast Poison on them, but yeah, usually it's, I'm sure there are bosses that are weak to Earth, but I'm not thinking of any off the top of my head. I just figure everyone's got to be weak to something, so one of those bosses has got to be Earth susceptible. But yeah, at any rate, even if that was true, it's not enough for me to be like, oh, I better get a second Quake on hand because one is never enough. So this is the first one. I'll just I think that it's at the end of the screen here, so I'll pop in these two buildings and I will do another save, another judicious save. These sources, this is not our first time receiving them, but yeah, they do just give a permanent stat increase, and so they're quite desirable. There's also, it's a little challenging, but they can be, this is, I've definitely been in this room before, but this has got to be, I'm assuming this is the Shinra manager from the train who's like telling Barrett like, oh, I'm not going to be intimidated by you or by your violence or whatever. So yeah, I don't know that I might have remembered that at one point and just kind of forgotten it, but yeah, that one, or I could have just never made the connection all these times I played the game, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's who that is. Which there definitely are a few random instances of bumping into a person in a different town or whatever. It doesn't happen super often, but yeah, there are definitely a few over the course of the game. And then, of course, characters like the Turks will pop up all over the place because they're, you know, that's how they roll. It's weird that, because these are like the level before, it's weird that there's a, like, lower grade weapon shop here. Is that the last one? Yes, it is. So we'll drop one more save and hopefully just, you know, nail in one for this Rufus thing. And then I think, like, immediately from there, you stow aboard. And let's see. We're at about the 40-minute mark, so maybe I'll do some of the ship stuff, or like, yeah, I could probably get the ship banged down in pretty short order. We'll see. We'll see if we get the Rufus in one go, and we'll kind of judge from there, I think. But the ship really shouldn't be that long. I would like to steal a Shinra beta or two, which is the non-buyable but stealable armlet you can get. I think it actually would be probably better than what I have at the moment, and it's for free. So it's not like a huge priority, but I might try and do that. But the Shinra boss, or not the Shinra, the Genova boss fight is easy peasy and should be not a problem whatsoever. And yeah, we'll see if I can nail this in one, because otherwise, didn't realize it was starting. Whoops, that was okay. That was okay. Oh, damn it. I'm really whiffing this. This is going to be a reload, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm still goofing those two buttons up right now. Yeah, this is a name. This is... Okay. Oh, that gives you a big boost. But yeah, I don't think 70 is going to meet the threshold, unfortunately. It would be really dope if it did, but I want to say it's like maybe 80 or 90. Well, let's just keep our fingers crossed, because, yeah, possible 70s. If 70 does it, it is just barely the threshold. Well, HP plus materia is kind of... Yeah, I don't really want to reload that badly. Like, it's nice to have the double AP, but, again, like, it becomes purchasable soon enough. And, you can buy HP plus materials if you like in Cosmo Canyon, and it's probably not going to be my first priority as far as things to equip and level up. But they are still good to have at max level. It's usually like when I'm like doing the grinding to not max level, but 90 something for the weapons. It was what I did last time I did it. And usually then, because you kind of master all the important things anyway, you can kind of afford to level up some HP and some things like that if you like, but yeah. I like that leaping. Yeah, we could obviously see red in the background during that march, during that marching in place. Again, I'm not really... There's a name for that. But, yeah, we could see red in the background and stuff. And yeah, the party has in fact stowed aboard Rufus's boat, which is going to be crossing the continent. I believe they're looking for Sephiroth at this point, but kind of just doing general. I think everyone's looking for the Promised Land, which is not really clear to anyone what it is specifically, but, maybe a place with abundant energy or that kind of thing. It's just some kind of utopia, but yeah, no, it's like that specific. But so here we are aboard the ship. I think there are no random encounters yet, but like once things start getting eerie aboard the ship, yes. Gotta hook Yuffie up with some tranquilizers if I want her to be taking me on, you want to be dating her on the Golden Saucer later in the game. That's definitely a crucial step, I hear. I'm gonna go with that. I don't know. I think that the guide also says to hit both, I think Eris and Tifa can both get an I don't know. Yeah, and so this is the door that I believe that's being so like because Yuffie will move later, and the door door will be like I think the guard of the door is dead. But yeah, that's where the boss fight will be happening once we've talked to everyone. Oh, I don't know. I kind of like Wars in Shinra. I can see that would give you negative points, but hey, you know what? I've kind of got a man with a mission here, you know. And HP. Oh right, I still have my reduced party roster. There's Red up there walking on 2 legs and like comically like kind of dance walking. One of the many wacky things that takes place over the course of this game. Man, I love how quickly I abandoned all that talk about like, oh, if I don't get that sword, I'm gonna reload. Oh, you better believe it. I'm gonna reload if I don't get that sword. And then like, oh, HP plus, yeah, that's pretty clutch. I'm just gonna keep it. But yeah, it's, you know, again, there's certain things where I really think it would be an auto reload if you missed it because it's, you know, for whatever reason important or worthwhile. But yeah, that sword that literally, I think they sell it in like coral or in that, you know, kind of like at the end of that bridge where there's that kind of quick guy. Yeah, I think that's still considered coral. Where there's that, like kind of wrecked like camp thing or whatever. So yeah, in any event, if I really even want it, then I can, because I still think it would be an upgrade then, but you know, I think it's something to walk. No, it's not that. Because if I can, you know, maybe you definitely can't walk past this guy, I'm pretty confident, so I'm wondering if I need to go back to this screen, to the last screen, and something will be different. Because I know what we really need to do is go further down in that direction, because Barrett is outside of like the kind of window at the helm, and you can kind of spy on the oh yeah, maybe I need to talk to her an additional time. Just like with a lot of these kind of events where it's like there are certain like, oh, these triggers need to, you know, once these conditions are met, this thing will happen. Talk to this guy first, and then, you know, yeah, there's like an order you gotta like get the dialogues in, so. But I don't know, I think the only thing I really did differently was I got that different dialogue from Eris, so maybe I just had to talk to her the second time. Is that guy still standing there? No, he is not. There we go. Barrett's running into like where he'd plainly be like viewable, although I guess he just looks like a sailor, so maybe he's like, oh, I don't really need to be that, you know. But anyway, yeah, he's like, oh, they're probably laughing about Biggs and Wedge and Jesse, which I'm going to go ahead and say they're probably not, because I doubt either Rufus or Heidegger had any idea who Biggs, Wedge, or Jesse were. Specifically, I would think. I think if they knew their exact identities, they probably could have like had wanted posters up or had their soldiers look for like, oh, here's the 4 known members of Avalanche. So yeah, I'd say I know for a fact they're not laughing about them. Unless they're just laughing about like, you know, oh, okay, I'll say this. Unless they're just like laughing about every single person that got killed by that plate being collapsed, which is pretty edgy, and I kind of doubt it. But okay, let's say that's the case. But so yeah, I still have I guess I'm still not able to assemble my party yet. But once I do that, I'll do a quick materia reconfiguring, and I would ideally like to steal a Shinra beta or 2. I think what I'll do is I'll steal 1 and see like how much of an upgrade it is, and based on that, I might just have to snag a set for the boys. The boys being Red and Barrett. Tranquilizer didn't really help. Apparently. Still incredibly. That's definitely something, because we will definitely get a airship later, and yeah, if he's not just seasick, but also airsick, so. And I would assume you don't really do much car riding. I guess you ride a buggy. You know, it's pretty close to a car, but yeah, there's no reference of her getting nauseous on there. But I think that's just because there's no dialogue, period. I imagine if there was buggy dialogue for the, because you use it very briefly. It's really just like it can cross rivers and use it that one time. But anyway, got the diamond pin. The power wrist I'm probably going to want to give to my boy Cloud, but that still means we can give Red a non-bad item. That's always a good thing. And still the best there. And so yeah, I think we'll... let's see how we're doing on time here. Yeah, we're at the 50-minute mark, so that'll be perfect. Like, I think it should be pretty quick to actually snag ourselves a Shinra Beta or two. Again, after the first one, I can evaluate if it's, you know, how much I want more, but definitely do that. Do the boss fight and pop into Costa del Sol. Get to see that scene where Eris says that that Barrett looks like a bear in a marshmallow or something like that with his sailor's uniform, and that someone says he should keep it for pajamas or something. I think there's a lot of funny lines in this game. I really do enjoy the humor. I think they definitely had some fun with it. All right, looks like they're putting a lot of my guys to sleep, but these are, I'm pretty sure these are the guys who will have the, this is the item I'm hoping to steal. Yep, there we go, a Shinra Beta. So I'll kill that guy I stole from, and I'll try and steal the second one, and then based on how much better I think it is, maybe I'd quickly grab a third, and then I can go just get the, again, I think the boss should be quite trivial. I will say, like, not that these guys are going to be a lot of AP, but I also need to make sure I equip my materia. So Marine B is the one I stole from. C is the one I'm trying to steal from. They're being pretty strategic with not attacking Cloud. He's definitely been out of the fight for quite a while. Oh, I jinxed him. Or they thought they would tempt fate. They thought, oh, Cloud's probably going to miss. Do they have darkness on them? That maybe that thing is sleeping in darkness. It kind of looks like they're weird colors. Well, fine, I'm going to bolt you. Unless I'm asleep again, that is. Well, that looks like... Oh, no, never mind. That was just like a grenade. Fair enough. There we go. And yeah, it's I think this is one of those items where it's like somewhat difficult to steal, but not that difficult. So I'll still get a few attacks on the board maybe, because I think this guy can definitely. Also, sorry, Barrett. Still nothing. Well, whatever. I'll just take a look at the one I have, and like, I definitely, if memory serves, it should be like an upgrade, but a little one. Like, maybe it's got better stats, but no more slots than I currently have. We'll find out. Whoops. Oh wow, that's yeah, that's substantially better. You know what? I guess I spoke too soon. I think I mean, it has the lower defense percentage and magic defense, but those stats weren't especially high, and it actually is quite a boost to my defense in general. So yeah, this is just like, seems better across the board. I guess I could also compare it to those two as well. Those look like they have higher magic defenses, so it might be a little bit more of a sacrifice, but yeah, no, I think I don't think it should take terribly long, or like, you know, make this video run on too much longer than an hour. So I think I am just going to take this opportunity to snag a set for myself. I feel like I've earned it. I'm basing that on nothing, but, you know, still do feel that way. Still haven't gotten that blade beam. Obviously, I haven't had any combat since the last time I played, so there's that. There we go. About dang time, I say. Alright. And now, I guess I can kind of maybe focus a little bit more on getting last hits with the other guys. Probably be a good idea. Since now we're back to, you know, to get the Clim Hazard, you need to get, you know, perform X number of level 2 limit breaks. So just dropping summons here and stuff like that. Like, I'll probably, once I get my Shinra betas, I'm probably going to, not that I'm really worried about, like, wiping at the boss, but, you know, just to be on the safe side, just because, you know, I want to eliminate hassle when I can. I'll probably be hitting a save, and, you know, I might as well just drop a tent. Especially if I, because if I get any non-soldier fights, I'm just going to drop a summon real quick, so it's, you know, quicker to, especially there where that's like a 5-pack, but those Shinra Marines seem to go in groups of like 2+, so if I just get another encounter with them, there we go. So I'll just ice one and start working on stealing from the others. Might be easier said than done, especially if my, I'll tell you one thing, if my guy who's stealing is asleep, that's gonna, at least they double slapped him, I guess, or slapped / dark down. I'm unclear if dark would affect your accuracy with steel. I'm not gonna look that up right now while I'm recording. I might remember to look that up later. That's kind of what was sort of not that fundamentally interesting, but I am just like the slightest bit curious. I might just drop just one, so I just need one more. And that was on the, I think that was the left one. It's still over, so that would be improved one to ice, if indeed that is the case. I'm going to use Quake just because I feel like I wasn't being super disparaging of it, but I was kind of just like, oh yeah, why do I need another Quake? Like, who's weak to magic? Okay, no, it was in fact the middle one I stole from, so it's, so I guess I will still keep on this one and start stealing from the other one, because I already Quaked that guy. One picture while I work on the second one. Third one total, of course, second to this battle. Alright, I'll just cut into this guy here. Alright. This, of course, you know, obviously I don't need to do more limit breaks to get the level 2, but I've said this before, but, you know, the high damage, things like that, pretty likely to get a last hit, so, you know, it kind of indirectly sort of still is achieving your end. And there's our third Shinra beta, so we can go heal, and I know I was talking about hitting a tent, but like my, whoops, I guess the memory thing is on for the cursor select. But anyway, yeah, my MP is pretty high, and I can just throw a single cure all, and that should be that. But I will still heal once I. But you know what I was not doing? I said this during the first round, but I definitely don't think these guys have materia equipped on them. I think. Oh no, you know what? I take it back. They do. Okay. I don't have everything equipped, but still gonna say that could be worse. Let's see. I don't think she will use an enemy skill in a later fight, Genova, but not in this one. Yeah, this is like pretty worthless. I still will, if I have room, I'll try and level up random magics, but yeah, that one is like a rather low priority. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna use an all anyway, I really ought to not be lazy and just that's weird. I've been kind of doing this a little flumpy here. Okay, there we go. This is not obviously not the end of the world. Now that I'm thinking about it, now that Cloud has hit level 2, I would like him to have cover, so he is taking more damage. Well, that would be kind of productive if I gave to Barrett. But there we go. Again, it's one of those, you know, not super crucial, but you know, every small amount can be helpful. So. There we go. So I think that should be pretty much. Oh nope! You know what? I never put on my hard-earned Shinra betas, did I? Yeah, beta boys here. And yeah, it is still, even though like the magic defense takes a big hit, like it's a lot of defense, and more slots overall. So I'm all for it. And one more here. What can we throw on? Oh, is that Barrett steel? Yeah, so it is. Steal for you then. Not that I think there's anything worth stealing from Genova, mind you, but still, you know, it gives you the stat, and we would like to get Mug eventually. That's you know, definitely not crucial, but helpful for sure. Big shot. I was gonna say maybe not, but he missed. He failed in his attempt to put me to sleep, so yeah. Work out after all. Alright, hopefully it should be smooth sailing to the save point, and we should just not have to contend with too many more random encounters now that we have everything we could ever want from these guys. Yeah, it looks like the will work out more or less perfectly timing wise. It's more than an hour and 2 minutes right now, and I'd say between the boss fight and the dialogue afterwards until we get to a save point, we are looking at like 10 minutes. So probably wouldn't have gotten that last encounter had I. Oh, you slept the wrong guy there, pal. Yeah, he double slept the wrong guy. Yeah, this should take care. I'm assuming this is enough. Gonna be enough damage to one shot them. Oh, I guess fortunately, like I am still. Oh, it inflicted stop on them. I was mentioning that that's a possible status it can inflict on the Midgar Zon, but I was saying I was fairly certain it was immune to stop. Which would kind of make sense. I mean, if they give you a summon that inflicts stop right before it, it kind of would be, you would think, even though you can only cast it one time, like stop can last for a little bit. And I think that's a pretty exploitable status, so I can see why they would have him be a lot of, I know he's not like technically a boss, but you know, a lot of boss-like enemies are immune, and I'd definitely say he's a boss-like enemy. I think you can collect this thing after the battle. I'm not positive. And Wind Slash, if I'm not mistaken, is a Yuffie weapon. I would assume it's better than Boomerang, but I don't know that for a fact. I actually don't even know for a fact it's a Yuffie weapon. It just sounds like it. So, a lot of things I don't know. Get wrecked by the scissor hand. And it's working out nicely that Barrett's getting these last hits. I feel like I was feeding a lot of last hits to Cloud, so it could still be a ways off, but I don't think he's like going to be that far from his grenade launch or whatever the heck is for. I think that's what it's called, is grenade launch. If not launch, then launcher. Oh, you know what? He could be attacking red. I don't want him to get the last hit, ideally. All right. The one thing I am kind of flirting with doing party-wise is, like, I think the character I most want to prioritize leveling up limit breaks is Red. So I was almost thinking of giving Barrett the boot for a little bit. The reason being, I need to, well, I probably would have, regardless of the date situation, done. I usually do the Wu Tai side quest like immediately as soon as I get the airplane, which is kind of misleading because it gets shot down and it just floats in the water, but it still, gives you a lot of transportation options. Kind of unrelated, but yeah, unrelated to what's happening here is, who we think is Sephiroth. It turns out, might be a little bit more complicated than that, but, here, this is the first time we're actually, what we think, seeing him in person in the game after seeing all this, like, all these references to him in the world and all these people being like, oh my God, and then seeing him impale that snake and stuff. But yeah, we are in fact not fighting him. We are fighting his mother. And she can, in some of her fights, I think it would be fair to say she can be somewhat challenging. And you could possibly make that argument for this one. Just because somewhat challenging is not necessarily a very high threshold, but like, I don't know that I've ever gotten a game over. But to be fair, I guess I could say that about a lot of bosses, but there are definitely some that have taken me a number of tries, like the first time I played this game. And yeah, I feel like I just, it's like, I feel like she gets bodied every time. I feel like this is a pretty trivial fight, all things considered. Yeah, at the end of disc 1, though, that's, if you know what you're doing, because, of course, it's like there's an item that absorbs water, the water elemental damage, and that is her main thing, of course, is water elemental damage. So if you just do that one thing, it's in fact trivial. But if you were somehow unaware of that or missed the item that absorbed it, then it would in theory be like, well, she does Aqua Lung, which is like on the same level of power as Beta and Trine. It's like kind of, it's like it's the water version, but yeah, it's just like high level. I don't know if the second heal is going to be necessary here, but I'm just going to throw it anyway because yeah, good. Looks like it still needed a little bit of extra juice, so it was wise to go a little further in my healing. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, you theoretically, the second time around, like, it can be kind of hard because it does a lot of damage and she'll cast it a lot before she runs out of magic. But yeah, that's, and again, there are like, there's definitely like, she's phase 1 of the end boss fight, but I'm drawing a blank here. I think you do fight her during the story one more time after the second disc, but drawing a little bit of a blank here as to when that might be. Completely forgot to draw on my beta power. If it was earlier in the battle or whatever, I probably would have done that Lunatic Fang just because haste is always good for upping DPS and all that stuff. But I am like, I don't necessarily have a super strong idea what her HP pool is like, but like, I think that it's, getting there. Ah, stop. That's really uncalled for. Any second now. That other thing that's going to do it is when she hits Cloud one more time and he gets a limit break off. But I think it's going to be just down to the next few auto attacks. Speaking of, oh, well, it seems like she hasn't taken a turn in a while. Did she just run out of juice or something? Or is the AI bugged? Like, this is definitely quite strange. There we go. Oh. Well. Yeah, now she's like doing 2 in a row, like making up for lost time. That is rather odd. Alright, this has got to be it. Blade Beam's not like a crazy high damage one, but I still think it should be Paul Venti. 426. Nope. Guess not quite. Unless it's one of those delayed things where she doesn't turn to red right away. Nope. She is, in fact, still alive and tail lasering up a storm. But that is not a problem. Except for the fact that Cloud is very much dead here. This is why we always save, and not that, I mean, because I don't know what if, because I don't think there's anything that can cure stop. So I know that if like in most games, I think this one included, if stop is inflicted on all your party members, then it's game over. But maybe it clears up over time, and maybe the just general like the Asuna or whatever, maybe that will cure stop. I'm not actually certain. We're gonna have to file that with the I'm not sure if darkness affects your steel accuracy. I'd be inclined to think it would, because there's definitely like steel percentages, so it makes sense. But yeah, one of those Final Fantasy VII mysteries. It's not really a mystery because I'm sure plenty of people know it. It's a pretty concise summary, honestly. I mean, obviously, there's some things that, you know, he's not really, his fragile psyche is not really ready to come to terms with that make that story, you know, a little more complicated than that. Well, and also, frankly, there's some facts that he was never fully aware of. There's some things that are, you know, he is oblivious to until the end. So also that. I guess Barrett could probably use a summon. What does Barrett need at least? One might be asking, like, hey, why are you keeping these alls that aren't socketed to anything? And it's good to keep alls leveled up. I think that's a very useful thing to be doing. I'm going to go ahead and drop this Chocobo lure for the time being. The stat's nice, but A, I don't know that you get more luck by leveling it up, and B, there is no master materia for the purple class, which is the support materia, I believe. And so, you know, that just really... I mean, if you want to do it for completeness sake, you can, but yeah, there's really like no purpose to it. So yeah, again, when I have the free space, no reason not. I mean, +1 luck is +1 luck. If it's that or nothing, why wouldn't you take it? But all right, and we arrive at Costa del Sol, which is a definitely a cool / memorable town. I think not that much happens story-wise here. And it's definitely not like content-wise, it's more in lines with like Calm than it is. It's a little bigger than Calm, but it's more like on that scale than it is like Junon, where you've got a boss fight and some mini games. We're gonna, well, you know what? I won't even delve too much into what we have. I'm just gonna try and find a save point and save it, and I'll leave the next part for next time. I don't want to talk about who I might find wearing a lab coat on the beach, or, you know, red kicking soccer balls. I think we're going to see that. I think we're going to walk by that. They're wearing a marshmallow. Puff, puff. And so, yeah, we, you know, it was obviously the voyage was taking place the entire time, but they showed us like actually crossing on the boat on the world map. But yeah, so we left from Junon. We are on the other side of the world, and this is we're gonna be exploring this second continent for. It's gonna take us like, well, I guess we're gonna go beyond the second continent throughout the course of Disc 1. But yeah, I'd say the next major portion of Disc 1 is gonna be all this. It's gonna be. Oh, there's another helicopter. You cannot go too long in this game without someone important being transported by helicopter. It's just reality of things. But anyway, yeah, so let's see, it's this, and then we have to go through this like mountain pass, and then it's Golden Saucer, and then we get wrongfully imprisoned for a series of murders, and then it's Cosmo Canyon. Then, oh, I guess it's optional, but I'm going to go there. A, for the materia, and B, I think I have an opportunity to get negative Eris and Tifa points. But the Ganaga is an optional place you can go to. That's Zach's hometown, who we don't really know that much about yet. But Zach is in fact the name of Eris's ex-boyfriend, who is actually a member of Soldier. Like, he was actually accepted. And, just generally experimented on. And yeah, we'll definitely learn a little bit more about Zach as the game progresses. And of course, you play... I never did the entire thing like Crisis Core. I was going to play on like a PSP phone emulator, but it was kind of a little too actiony, and I didn't have a Bluetooth controller at the time. Well, I still don't have a Bluetooth controller now, but I could, I'm sure, order one very inexpensively. But Crisis Core is definitely on, it's on the list. It's definitely above Dirge Cerberus as far as kind of Final Fantasy related properties I definitely intend to get to at some point. With Dirge, everyone was kind of like, the combat was kind of generic, but like the story was pretty okay. Or it's, I mean, Vincent's, well, I never run with him in my party anymore. He's a pretty enjoyable character. So I've definitely talked to some people. A buddy of mine played Dirge, and he said it was pretty all right. So this is the guy who will, in fact, sell you the house, which you, when you've got a bunch of money at the end, it's kind of like, might as well buy it for fun. But you definitely... Yeah, you don't need to buy it, of course, to get these items. I think Motor Drive is a Tifa fist weapon. I think Fire Ring is absorbs fire damage, which is, if you equip it for the right encounters, obviously it can be incredibly useful. I think this is an item seller here. Nope. Unless I answered wrong. I swear I thought she sold items. Nope, she just answers questions, I guess. Outskirts of the city. I could the exit to town is right to the left, so I could theoretically do that, but I'm slightly concerned that doing so will make me miss a scene that takes place on the beach, so I'd rather be safe. I don't want to have to redo anything, and I wouldn't want you, the viewer, to miss out on some truly excellent... Now let's see what the Platinum Bangle's like. Okay, it's got double growth, but only 2 slots. I'm not really going to fiddle with this right now. Like, that could be useful, but it's more about, I think, just like evenly leveling up multiple things, so... No, thank you. I've got a fresh set of Shinra betas I'm more than happy with. All right, I'm not sure that I talked to every single bar patron there, but that's fine. Still searching for the elusive save point. Oh, I think there's a familiar face there. And I definitely remembered you see him again in Costa del Sol, but I forget if I would assume you might see him another time in the game. I just don't know for sure when that is. So I guess we shall see. Time will tell. I don't remember her. That's funny. I don't remember Yuffie selling you materia at this point. Well, that's the great thing about Final Fantasy VII. You can play the game every so often. You can be like, oh, I didn't know that. Because, I really do feel like that will happen a good handful of times every time I play. Either because it's been a while and I didn't remember, or sometimes because I've just never known it until then. Because, again, it's like many JRPGs, it's quite a long game. All right, well, here's the inn. I gotta think, like most inns, it will feature prominently a save. Well, I stand corrected. No save point in this inn. What is going on there? No dice. I don't really think. I guess I guess I should still be damaged from the fight. Yeah, but again, I can just use a tent or rub some dirt on it. Still got plenty of cures left in the oh, that was the guy I just talked to. I already bought some of their world famous softs. So I guess we are just doing the whole Coastal Del Sol thing. Is there a save in this entire dang town? I'm not seeing it if there is. He just jumps over, does the cloud jump. It's kind of funny because this is not the only character that's like kind of ostensibly a bad guy that you run into on vacation. But yeah, this is just always kind of one of those random things like, oh, what's he doing here? And you don't fight. And he just says like, you know, he's kind of just like a smug scientist or whatever. And one of the girls is just like, oh man, he wears slap coat to the beach. He's such an intellectual. She doesn't say intellectual, but she says something very much to that effect. And this, of course, is all deliciously ironic if you know the circumstances around that, which obviously Hojo's pretty intimately familiar with. Why wouldn't he? Like, who's gonna? With all Barrett's like kind of flailing his arms around and stuff, you'd think that Barrett, if anyone, would be like, oh, this guy's probably done, you know, responsible for a lot of heinous Shinra type stuff. And it's Costa del Sol. It's like a tourist, like, beach town. Like, what, are the Costa del Sol police gonna arrest you or whatever? I guess, actually, to be fair, there's the, you know what, I'll take that back. There was the Shinra ship that landed, so you might think there'd be somewhat of a presence. But I'd still think, like, our guys being, like, almost level 20, I'll bet we could just kill Hojo right now. And what do you think? You think those, like, these beachgoers are gonna stop us? Or someone that, like, owns a hotel? Or that guy that's selling softs? He's like, you should buy some softs if you're coming here. Like, you think he's gonna arrest us? Like, give me a break. We could absolutely murk Hojo and there'd be zero consequences. In fact, I think it would probably save us a little bit of trouble down the road. Like, Hojo definitely causes some future issues. Yeah, I guess that's the mark of an intellectual. I guess she does say intellectual. Shouldn't have doubted myself. I'll interpret Professor Hojo's whispers. It's funny. All these ladies are so thirsty for Professor Hojo. I love it. And yeah, of course, if you're somehow unaware, soft is the item that cures the status petrify, which both that and gradual petrify are very real concerns. I guess the reason Red's not playing soccer is because he's in my party. I guess that would be his like spot if he had, because the last time I played, he was in fact not a party member. So that's probably why I'm not seeing it. Well, anyway, it looks like that ended up being an hour and 23 minutes, so it ran a little long, but looks like we got a lot of stuff done. So next time we should be going through the mountain pass and probably getting started at the Golden Saucer. So lots of exciting plot developments should surely be happening at that point in the game. So look forward to it, and thank you for joining me. See you next time.